Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the OurMFC podcast. I'm absolutely delighted to be back. I've had a nice week off. The whole OurMFC team have just took the time to kind of chill out a little bit, recharge the batteries, and then we came back, as you're listening on the socials, on the Saturday, which obviously is what we're here to talk about today. The season opener against West Brom, so it was perfect timing. Um, just did it, like I say, recharge the batteries. We've been working flat out on the channel, and it's been paying off because you guys have been loving the content. So we can't thank you guys enough for the support either. But yeah, how we're gonna do it today? Obviously, you'll see it's just me today. Matty had some things going on, and so does Ben. Just life gets in the way sometimes with these things. It can't be helped. So what I'll do is we'll go through the game first of all, but instead of because we're going to do one a week, instead of keeping it just the match, we'll do a bit of news at the end, um, and we'll kind of put them together in one video for you. So yeah, without further ado, let's get going. So, um, yeah, actually, we'll talk about the display. Red Faction, my words. If you thought their displays couldn't get any better, like if you haven't seen any pictures or you weren't there, you haven't seen any videos, like I urge you right now, like stop this video, go and have a look at some of the stuff either that we've shared or have a look on the Red Faction's Twitter. The display was amazing. It looked so good and it really got the atmosphere going. It revved everyone up. So massive well done to the Red Faction for that because yeah, it was amazing. You can actually go and donate as well. They take donations that goes like straight towards the next display. So if you want to see more stuff like this, yeah, make sure you donate to the Red Faction. Actually, we'll leave a link in the description because yeah, absolutely brilliant. So once that finished, game got underway, we actually started off really well. Passing combinations like we seen against Marseille. If you watched that friendly, there was a lot of really clever 1-2 touch passing, like triangles around players and things, which is always really good to see, especially when it pays off, when it works. It just looks so slick, especially going from defence to attack. And that's what we did throughout that first like 8 to 10 minutes. It was all us really, and it was a brilliant move on the left hand side. Ryan Giles, what a player we have got there! Absolutely phenomenal all game. But for this move in particular, he receives the ball out on the left. He cuts inside and he plays this lovely weighted through ball to Akpom running in behind, who cuts it back across goal, and then Jones is running in from the opposite side on the right to just direct it goalwards, straight in the back of the net. So 9-10 minutes in, we're 1-0 up. We're absolutely coasting. Um, yeah, just we were playing some really good football, creating chances. Like I say, we just looked really comfortable. Which, to be fair, first game back, Tav wasn't there. You know, big miss really. And that squad is by no means the finished article. Whereas you look at the West Brom side, and it's going to be, they might have one or two signings, but they're not far off, having a completed squad. Where, like I say, we've still got, probably about 5 signings to come in through the door. But no, we looked really good, and once again, Ryan Giles on that left hand side, just unbelievable, just absolutely relentless. I think he did manage the joint most crosses in the entire championship, which was 12, which shows the attacking threat that he poses on that left hand side. So if you thought Jones was good on the right, like double that and some on the left, you've got that attacking threat from both sides now, which is it's brilliant to see. Wilder and the recruitment team done a perfect job on that left hand side. He's exactly the type of player that we needed. And anyway, I say he picks the ball up again, puts a lovely ball in the. And when I say lovely, I'm talking like we haven't had anyone with a left foot that good since Stuart Downing, especially balls in the box. There were, pinpoint accuracy. And this one, I don't know if it's the whip that he gets on it, but it curves right into the middle of the box. Well, I want to say about 3-4 yards out. And I don't know if it's the angle that Watmore's running at, but it seems to like spin off his boot and it somehow goes wide. I've got no idea how, because that is a very game defining moment. If Watmore scores that goal, you're 2-0 up, you're looking pretty comfortable, and then you get yourself into half time. But he didn't, he missed the chance. That allowed West Brom to regroup, kind of see it through half time. Um, and then from then on, West Brom came out absolutely firing on all cylinders. Um, I know people have their concerns and they're not really a big fan of Steve Bruce, but I do believe that he's still a brilliant manager. He got promoted with Hull. That's no disrespect to Hull, by the way, but the teams that he's had and the success that he's had with certain sides, especially the quality of players that West Brom have, I do genuinely believe they'll be there or thereabouts this season. I put in my prediction. If you haven't checked that out, go and have a look on my Twitter, Jordan Evans 1707. That West Brom had finished fourth just after us in third. Optimistic, I know, but yeah, I do think they'll be there or thereabouts. And yeah, they came out in the second half and proved um, why they deserve to be up there or thereabouts, challenging next season. All you had to do, to be fair, was look at the match day programme. I'm sure it was Craig Johns from Gazette had shared a tweet, and it was the back of the programme, and it was obviously the two squads. And ours is like that long, but then they've got like an extra good chunk of players on the bottom, just clearly showing the difference in squad depth. Um, and you could tell, you really could tell the players that they were bringing off the bench. I think it was Niang or Dieng. Ooh, yeah, I might have got that one wrong. And then the striker, the American striker, might be Dyke, but he's an absolute unit. And then them two that came on posed constant threats, and our defence couldn't handle them. Um, but what happened was we obviously pushing for that second goal. We just started to get leggy. It's only the first game of the season, so you can kind of imagine that. But we started to get a bit leggy, a bit tired, and gaps were opening up, especially in the midfield. Like in between the defence and Johnny Howson in the middle, there was a couple of gaps in there, or our wing backs would be very attacking, so it left gaps out wide as well. And Jed Wallace, who was absolutely phenomenal that game as well. I've always rated him since he went, like when he was at Millwall. I always thought it was a player that Boro might bring into the squad. It never happened. I know we've been interested in him. Warnock liked him when he was here, but it never happened. But obviously he got his move to West Brom, and like I say, he was brilliant. He posed an attacking threat down both sides. He drifted a lot as well. Um, our defenders really struggled to cope with him that game, and he plays a nice 1-2. It comes back into the midfield, and the midfielder I'm sure it's the outside of his foot, but he plays it right into the channel. Like I said, brilliant running by Jed Wallace. And Jake, if you watch the goal back, Jake Steele's got two men, so there's a bit of miscommunication with him and I think it was Lenihan. But really, either Jake Steele says to Lenihan, right, Swift is your man, or Jake Steele just follows Swift and leaves the man behind him, or, shouts Lenihan to maybe check your shoulder, come across. He doesn't do that. And in doing so, Jed Wallace goes to the byline, and Jake Steele kind of follows the ball, follows like in line with the defence, and Swift just like drops off. it's quite a clever. He like holds his run, so obviously if the defender's not checking his shoulder to make sure he's looking, he thinks he's just running directly into the box. So that's probably why Jake Steele's carried on moving, and he was aware there was a player behind him. Um, and he's just left him. And like I said, Swift held his run. Jed Wallace cuts it back, and he's free on the edge of the box. And just there's nothing from that range with the amount of power that Swift got on it as well, running onto the ball. There's nothing that Zach Steffen could do. Um, so it was, yeah, it was a bit of a downer on the game, I would say, because like I said, we looked pretty comfortable for the majority of the game. Obviously, up until that second half, I must admit it was deserved by West Brom. Like I said, they came out and put us on the back foot like multiple times that game, and I think in that second half they probably could have had a couple as well if it wasn't for some fantastic saves by Zach Steffen. He's been brilliant since he came in as well. Obviously, we weren't here last week, so you didn't have an updated like transfer news update. But yeah, Zach Steffen signed on a season-long loan from Man City, and let me know what you guys think in the comments or on social media. But for us, he's been absolutely sensational since he came in. Commanding his box, talking to his defenders. He just looks like a unit, a real presence. And there's a bit of confidence as well. You can kind of see that with the defenders. And his footwork, like there's not that hesitation like there was with Lumley or Daniels last season. You kind of, yeah, he might make the odd couple of mistakes, but nothing too like concerning. There's, like I say, there's a confidence about him, which is really really good to see, really reassuring. But then after the goal, it was pretty back and forth. Both teams had chances. It could have gone either way really, but I'd say it was pretty even Stevens. I think, to be fair, towards the end of the game, I think, well, before the game, I'd have took a point against a good West Brom side with pretty much them being the finished article, a lot of quality in their sides, us still needing to sign players. I'd have took a point against West Brom. And yeah, I think that was probably the fair result. I think first half, we could have, let's say, been 2-3-0 up. Second half, they could have pegged us back easily, so which they did. And it was deserved as well. So yeah, 1-1, fair result, I think. Let me know what you guys thought of the game. But yeah, I would say fair result. And like I say, with players still to come in, there's plenty to be optimistic about. And one thing to be very optimistic about as well is obviously Marcus Force came on. He obviously signed for the Boro just a few days prior to that game. Um, he couldn't really get into the game. It was quite a physical game when he came on, especially last 20-30 minutes. It was pretty physical, and he didn't really get the opportunity to get on the ball probably as much as he'd liked. And to be fair, the defending was really good. As soon as he got the ball, defender was right behind him, was right on him, so he couldn't quite link up like he probably wanted to, make runs in behind. Probably just wanted to impress and work hard, and he did that. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does throughout the season. But another player that absolutely shocked everyone, and I'm so glad to see it because, like I say, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll have seen that I still believe in Chuba Akpom. I remember watching him when he was in Arsenal's youth side, um, taking his opportunities there. Obviously, that didn't quite work out. He went over to the Greek side. Then we bought him, and he started off really well under Warnock, and then it kind of petered out. He didn't. He looked like a different player. He didn't look like trying, but there's 1,000% there's a player in there, and for me, he's got all the attributes to fit a Wilder side perfectly. You know, he's the type of player that likes to make runs in behind. He's quite physical. He can hold the ball up for you. He's fairly tall as well. He's quick and he's got some pace about him. So I do believe as well, in and around the penalty area, he's got a natural finishing ability. I think if you look back at games that he's played in, the lack of service that he's had, and it's been the same story for most of those strikers, to be fair, but the lack of service that he's had, people look at his goal to game ratio and go, he's played this many games for us or this many appearances. Like, he's terrible. He's barely scored any goals. But you've got to kind of read between the lines with players like that. And you've got to think about the manager and the way he sets his teams up and tactics wise and how the player will fit that. And for me, he managed 65 minutes. And for me, like I say, he was probably the best. Well, he was the best striker on the pitch. Like I said, got the assist. His work rate was there. He was physical. He was holding defenders off and bringing like the midfielders. He was linking up with Riley McGree really well. Like I say, he made that running behind for the goal to set Jones up. So I do believe that if he can get his head down, he will win Wilder over 100%. And for me, he starts again this Saturday against QPR because, well, he's done nothing wrong. He's never kicked up a fuss about the club or said anything bad about the club. He just came back from his loan, got his head down, worked hard. He wasn't took on pre-season either, which won't have been easy for him. But he's just come in and yeah, he's performing. So fair play to him, and I really hope that he goes on to, get some more assists, get some more goals, and I hope he stays at the club because then that solves one other striker problem, doesn't it? It means we don't have to fork out loads to bring in a player. We've essentially got a new player if you think about it. But yeah, that wraps up the match review. Like I say, let me know what your thoughts on the game were, who your star performers were, what you thought of Akpom, that kind of thing. Let me know in the comments or on social media. It's always awesome to hear from you. So yeah. Got some exciting news though, and this is more like channel related, but we have got two new sponsors for OurMFC. Now we work crazy hard, like you wouldn't even believe the amount of hours that we put in on social media, writing articles, creating video content like this. Like we don't get paid for any of this. We do it genuinely because we love it. We love the football club, and this is our way of kind of giving something back to the fans and showing our appreciation of the club. But in doing so, we want to bring sponsors on, not for money as in income that just goes straight into our pockets. The money that we make on, like from sponsorships, is going to go directly back into the channel, improving it, making it better so that more of you guys come on, more of you guys can enjoy it. That's what it's all about. It's going to be improving it. There's going to be a lot of big things from these sponsorships that are really going to help us get to where we want to go because we've got some really big goals and it is really going to help us. So the first sponsor is Family Outings Limited. Now, they provide family-friendly coach trips from Teesside to national destinations, such as like Alton Towers, like Flamingo Land. They do like really cool day trips that, like I say, you can book with your family. It's all kind of paid for in one nice, lovely package. So yeah, like go and check them out. They've got some awesome deals on there, and we'll be sharing them throughout the season as well. Like I say, we'll leave all of our sponsors from now on will be in the description, so you can go and check out Family Outings Limited. And yeah, go and book your next trip because they've got so many cool stuff on there, and you can literally go from your doorstep on a coach. So yeah, go and check them out. And thank you for the sponsorship, guys. Really appreciate it. And the next one is Spencer Beck Windows Teesside. Kind of in the name, but Spencer Beck are a traditional window cleaning service and they cover literally all of Teesside. So it doesn't matter where in Teesside you are. If you think, oh God, I've got a local window cleaner that already does my windows, seriously, go and check out their before and afters on the Facebook page. We'll leave that in our description as well. So go and have a look in there. Look at their before and afters, like with them, the proofs in the pudding. If you want nice looking windows and you maybe don't have the time to do it, I know I certainly wouldn't. Yeah, go and give them a call, give them a ring. Because yeah, if you want nice windows, they're the guys to go to. So yeah, once again, thank you guys for the sponsorship. It really does go a long way. And you'll hear from more of us throughout the season. Now moving on to news, we couldn't, or we won't be able to fit in like everything, and we're talking about like rumors and things like that. Like we're probably not going to have the time to put everything into videos, especially going forward when there's more of us. There's obviously going to be a lot more conversation throughout the match reaction, things like that. So what we'll do is in the news portion of the video slash podcast, what we'll do is we'll kind of compile the biggest bits of news. So that's like incomings, outgoings, something big going on in the club, that type of stuff. Within that week, obviously. So first bit of news was that Grant Hall, he joined Rotherham on a season-long loan. I think he's only got 1 year left on his deal. So that was probably more likely for him going out, just playing football, getting some game time. But they're in the Championship this season, and he'll add plenty of experience into that Rotherham side. And to be fair to him, he was always good for the Boro. I don't really remember him having a bad game. He's a top professional. When he's called upon, you know that he'll perform. But I just think for Chris Wilder, he was a little bit injury prone, which meant you couldn't always rely on him. And the type of player that we're wanting to bring in for where we want to go, he just doesn't quite fit that mold. So I think it makes sense for all parties, really. And yeah, wish him the best of luck. Hopefully he has a great season. And yeah, see where it takes him next year. Then the next bit of news is Boro are reportedly, and obviously we wouldn't include rumours, but like this is pretty big. Anyway, on Sky Sports, we're in advanced talks to sign a Man United midfielder. I'm terrible with pronunciation, so you have to excuse me. Hannibal Mejbri, Mejbri. Really apologise if he ever hears this and hates the way that I pronounce that. But yeah, that would just be a season-long loan. From what I've heard, to be quite honest, he's one of the. I think he's got a couple of videos on YouTube, like compilations. Apparently, he's meant to be a massive shithouse. So he'll come on in the midfield. He's not afraid to get stuck in. He's a playmaker, but he's kind of like that younger Lee Tomlin, more athletic Lee Tomlin. He's not afraid to get stuck in. He's a bit of a shithouse, bit dirty, loves a tackle. And that's the type of, that's what you want in your midfield. I think we're missing, apart from Crooks, who sometimes gives away silly fouls, picks up a yellow card, we kind of miss that aggression, that like fire in your belly in our squad. So I know he's only young, he's like 2021, but it definitely be a great option to bring on. And no doubt, Fetis, the goalkeeping coach, Alan Fetis, will probably know him as well, which would definitely help favouring us for a move. Yeah, so watch this space for that one. But I do think that'd be a really good signing, really, really good signing, especially, like I say, with Tav going now as well. Speaking of Tav, you'll have all seen, well, this has been recorded on the Monday, so you might see this like Wednesday, Thursday. But yeah, Tav has completed a 12.5 million move, £12.5 million move to Bournemouth. I'm personally, I know he's had his critics, and I know not everyone can like him. Not everyone is particularly, you know, there's a lot of, it's a mixed bag with Tav. You got, well, it's like Marmite, isn't he? You either love him or you hate him. Doesn't seem to be very many in between. I'm personally on the love side. Um, I've always rated Tav. I was there when he scored his first goal for the club. And watching his journey at 23 years old, he's made 155 appearances for the club, which is pretty ridiculous. Like you don't hear of that really. It's very rare. Um, you just, for me, you can't not love him. Like he's energetic. He works hard. He's a playmaker. He's creative. He fair enough. He maybe needs to add some more goals to his game, but you can't knock his work ethic. He's been a fantastic servant to the club. He'd run through a brick wall for you. So I'm personally really, really gutted to see him go. I think he'll be a very, very big miss. And I do think, even though he's gone for 12.5, I think it'll be hard to replace him. You don't, especially at his age, you won't get, or it'll be hard to find a better midfielder than him at his age, especially with his experience in the Championship. That it's going to be tough boots to fill. But you know what? I really hope he goes into that Bournemouth side, gets his head down, and absolutely smashes it in the Prem, because no one deserves it more. Him and Dale Fry deserve to play in the Premier League. I was hoping that he would stay a season, maybe reassess, where we are with Chris Wilder at the end of this season, because he did, without a doubt, being in the first team then. But obviously, it wasn't to be. Every player's got a value. The club obviously accepted that offer. He's got 2 years on his contract left, and I know we offered him a new contract. He turned that down. He wants the move. That's fine. It's understandable. Like I said, to recoup 12.5 million for another academy player, we've in the space. If Spence did reportedly go for 20 million, which is like, say he goes for the full amount with add-ons and things like that, that you're looking at like 32.5 million for two academy players. Now, I don't remember the last time we did something like that. So yeah, it's good business, good business. Hopefully, reinvest. You won't get all that money because obviously someone's got to pay Steve Gibson back. But yeah, hopefully it gets reinvested into the squad. Maybe bring in some more midfielders, a couple of strikers we still need. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, wish to have the best of luck. Hope he does really well in the Prem. I have to get him in your fantasy for a Premier League team. I have to say he's only 5 mil on there, so yeah, you have to show me all your squads. And then the last bit of news is ending on a bit of a negative note. We've kind of done that the last few weeks, actually. Maybe need to sort that out. But Boro are reportedly struggling to get a deal over the line. For you'll have seen, I'm pretty sure we mentioned it in the last video, the Mallorca striker, Matthew Hop. I think it's Hop. It's either Hop or Hope, Hoppe. Yeah, Football League World report, and they're normally like really, really good with EFL news. It's normally quite reliable. But yeah, they've said we're struggling to get a deal over the line. So that's a kind of watch this space as well. I know there's Rodrigo Muniz. Like, I'm pretty sure that is done and dusted, if I'm being honest. Like, the amount of tweets he's liked and videos now, like, it's just getting silly. I think the club must have told him to just like keep teasing and liking stuff, because I'm pretty sure that's all done and dusted. They're just waiting on Fulham to get a striker, and then he's ours. But yeah, I think Matthew would be another good addition. USA international as well. So hopefully, the next video, you see, we've got that over the line, because Chris Wilder did say before Saturday's game, there's like 3 to 5 players. I think there was 3 players that could have signed just before the game, didn't go ahead. But he said there's 3 to 5 deals like in the pipeline. We're just waiting on them clubs to either sign replacements or bring in other players to let them come out on loan or to sign them permanently. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really, really interesting. But yeah, that's going to wrap up the news section of this video as well. And I just want to say a massive, massive thank you to everyone that, if you're listening this far, one, you're an absolute legend, and two, we all love you. Because yeah, the support that you've shown us since we started this is absolutely phenomenal, and I'm pretty sure this will be our third season. Yeah, third. Yeah, third season. No, oh my god, how many seasons has it been? Might be. Yeah, might be the fourth. No, it's the fourth. No way. Pretty sure it's the fourth. Well, it was like halfway, three quarters of the way through the first one. Not sure if that counts. Anyway, it's been a long time, and you guys are still showing the support, and our channels are still growing. Which only puts us like in a more encouraging position. We love what, like I said, what we do, and to hear that you guys are liking it, and you're encouraging more people to follow the page. The channel's growing. We're building this little community, and it's so exciting. But we genuinely couldn't do it without any of you guys. So yeah, that's just a big thank you. And here's to another season. Let's hope it's a really successful one. Let's hope this is the season. If we can get them signings over the line, this is the season. I'm gonna. You all have to hold me to this statement now till the end of the season. But yeah, that is gonna wrap up the video. So thank you all very much, and see you next week.